voice for good. Every year at John Jay, we welcome 2 honorary degree recipients to become a part of our college community. Their impressive work, service, and spirit offer inspiration and encouragement to our exceptional graduating class. This year's honorees are the Honorable Loretta Lynch and the Honorable Alex Calabrese, both who have demonstrated their dedication to justice through their exemplary work advancing the justice system to be more humane, equitable, and effective. And today, you have the great honor at this graduation of being introduced and having as a member of your graduating class, because he was telling everybody that he's a member of the class of 2019. I was standing outside there and he said, my classmates are here, and I'm looking. He's talking about you guys. So you're making him young at heart today to be a member of the class of 2019. So at this ceremony, we're going to recognize the Honorable Judge Alex Calabrese, Chief Judge of the Red Hook Community Justice Center. I know we had a lot of students who have volunteered at Red Hook Community Justice Center. Would you raise your hands if you worked at Red Hook? I know there's some here. So he's going to tell you more about those students. His programs have been shown to reduce recidivism while strengthening the public confidence in our courts. He himself is a fierce advocate for justice, and it's about time we finally made him one officially. So please join me in watching this video about our honoree for this afternoon.
My name is Professor Nathan Lentz, and I'm the chair of the Honorary Degree Committee at John Jay College, and I nominated Judge Alex Calabrese for an honorary doctorate. I nominated Judge Calabrese because he embodies everything that we try to be at this college, which is a restorative approach to justice that really works. He puts into practice the theories that we develop in our laboratories, in our classrooms, in our offices, and he puts them into practice with real people. And once you start to get at the roots of why crime exists in the first place, you at least have a chance of solving it.
We could use the power of the court to produce better results. We show that treatment is the best way to approach these cases, along with procedural justice and fairness. Basically, treating people like people and not docket numbers, and that's more successful than jail.
Now at Red Hook, I've got social workers on site here, and with the consent of the defense lawyer, we can get to the heart of the issue that brought the offender to court and solve that problem.
Rather than simply sending people to prison, we're sending them back into community prepared for a contributive life. And the bottom line is it works. If we want a society free from crime, where people are free to pursue their desires, this is what we do. We restore relationships, we restore justice, and we bring the community together rather than fracturing it.
Once they enter into this opportunity, their lives are not ended. So they are not getting a sentence and sent upstate and sent to a place where they're going to come back under very negative circumstances as a very changed person. Instead, they're going to stay in the neighborhood. They're going to see their family. They're going to get the help they need. We're in a short supply of heroes today. I think a lot of us can relate to that. We look around us and there's a lot of uncertainty. Usually when we go looking for heroes, we're looking for them on a national stage. And those who really don't get recognition are our homegrown heroes, the heroes in our own backyard. Judge Alex Calabrese is one of those community heroes.
And it is my honor to nominate Judge Alex Calabrese for an honorary doctorate from John Jay College.
So I'm proud that Judge Calabrese will be joining our John Jay community today. Please help me welcome the Honorable Alex M. Calabrese. It is my honor and privilege to confer the honorary degree upon the Honorable Alex M. Calabrese, and Associate Provost Byrne will hood him, and he will be escorted, or has been escorted, by Professor Nathan Lentz, the faculty member who nominated him. Professor Lentz, please present our honoree.
Madam President, it is my privilege to present to you and to this assembly the Honorable Alex M. Calabrese.
There you go.
Judge Calabresi, you have been a fierce voice for justice, and John Jay College of Criminal Justice confers upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
President Mason, Dr. Lentz, Professor Bachmeyer, the nominating committee, John Jay faculty and staff. Thank you for this incredible honor, and to share this with my wife of 40 years and my support, Linda Temple, and to know we are now part of the John Jay family makes this truly one of the best days of my life. This is special because John Jay has been such an important part of the Red Hook Community Justice Center since we opened almost 20 years ago. John Jay students and graduates working for the Center for Court Innovation are the lifeblood of this court. The traditional courthouse has one mission: to do justice. But justice, as you know, has many forms. And while we seek to do justice, our definition of justice is much broader. At Red Hook, we see everyone who comes in our door voluntarily or brought in by the police as part of our community, which means we want them to be successful. To resolve cases pre-trial, we identify and address the underlying issue that brought people to court. This problem-solving approach is different than the traditional court system that simply recycles people. Our broader mission is to reduce incarceration by using services rather than jail, and to be a model for procedural justice and fairness, treating everyone who comes in our building with respect and giving them a voice in the outcome. And as a community court, we want to build trust and confidence in justice and be part of the fabric of the community. And it's John Jay students and graduates that help us fulfill our mission every day. Without your students and graduates as a judge, I would only have two options. I've got in jail or out of jail. But at Red Hook, students like Segun Olani, who graduated today, do assessments of our clients. And as professionals, they meet people where they are and help them one by one, step by step, work towards getting their life back on track, re-engaging in school or getting a GED, providing family or individual counseling, supporting them as they fight drug addiction, alcohol abuse, mental health issues, or work through trauma. It's John Jay students and graduates that are treating our clients with dignity and respect, building self-esteem, the first step towards them reclaiming their lives. And it's John Jay students that are out in our community, bridging the gap between court and community through the AmeriCorps and CUNY Corps programs, led by Declan Walsh, a longtime partner of the Justice Center. So last week, many people living in the Red Hook public houses couldn't make a meal for their family because there was no gas in the buildings. Students and graduates of John Jay found an agency that had free hot meals. They picked up those meals. They brought them to Red Hook. They climbed the stairs in public housing. They delivered them door to those needy families. They talked with their feet. And because there are now over 75 community courts across the country and 15 outside of the United States, modeled after the Red Hook Community Justice Center, your students and graduates have paid it forward. The Justice Center that they have played such an important part in creating not only helps our community, but people from as nearby as New Jersey, to Spokane, Washington, to people in Canada, the Ukraine, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Israel. People in those courts and those countries now experience a helping hand kind of justice that includes them as part of the community rather than the traditional knock you down justice that isolates and incarcerates. I'd like to end by telling you about a single piece of paper. Years ago, I visited Washington, D.C., and I went to the National Archives. On display was a document that was extraordinary because it was so ordinary. It was the original complaint filed against Rosa Parks. It charged that on December 1st, 1955, 6:06 p.m., Montgomery Street, Rosa Parks, as a colored female, sitting in the white section of the bus, would not move back in violation of Chapter 6, Section 11, the Montgomery City Code. This one-page complaint looked like countless disorderly conduct charges filed every day in courts across our country. And I wondered, how many people were charged under this law before Rosa Parks? How many prosecutors thought it was the right thing to do to prosecute these cases? How many defense lawyers urged their clients to plead guilty under this law? How many judges upheld this law and found people guilty under Chapter 6, Section 11 of the Montgomery City Code? And how many people in the justice system said, well, it's right because it's what we always do? Until the moment Rosa Parks said no. And when she said no more, she rocked the justice system there and across our country. Criminal justice reform is happening as we speak. But remember, we are still one of the world leaders in incarcerating our own people. Never forget that our profession involves the highest stakes, the ultimate power of government to jail an individual. John Jay graduates are smart, compassionate, dedicated, and most of all, committed to doing justice. And I tell you now that in your career, you will have your Rosa Parks moment. It may be about race, gender, immigration, equality, or other basic human right. You will have a moment where you see injustice, but everyone else sees fairness in the grinding wheels of justice. A moment when you know in your heart that what you are seeing is unfair and unjust. But supervisors, lawyers, or judges are telling you it's right because it's what we always do. President Mason, John Jay, faculty and staff, family and friends of today's graduates, having had the privilege of working with your graduates for almost 20 years, in that moment when you come face to face with injustice, I know that you will have the confidence of this great education, that you will seek the counsel of friends that you've made here, students and professors, and that you will stand your ground and say, no, this is wrong, and speak up. And you will make sure that justice is done. And to the people doing injustice on a daily basis, treating people with no dignity and no respect, incarcerating people because it's what they always do, you will say to them no more. You, fellow classmates, will rock their world. Congratulations. Thank you very, very much.
So I may need to ask the English professors here in the room, but I don't think it's plagiarism if you acknowledge that you're stealing it in advance. So I'm going to use some of those words. Is that plagiarism? Okay. Dr. Kaplowitz says it's not, so it's not. Thank you so much for inspiring us and for the great work that you do across this country. So now, we have something different this year. We have a special keynote speaker to inspire our graduates. Most of you know him. Is he here? Is he here? Okay. Most of you know him for being the culture expert on the Netflix reboot of Queer Eye, where he's known